Hey guys, welcome to Andrew's Art Duchy. Today I just want to do an informal Christmas celebratory episode to usher in the holiday season. So I'm going to be setting up these decorations over here, getting kind of the right vibe, and then we're going to dive into making Yorkshire puddings, which are one of my favorite holiday treats. Now, frankly, Yorkshire puddings are a great treat any time of the year. I just particularly like to make them around Christmas. And I feel like they're not super popular in America. So maybe you never made them before, and I hope they'll become one of your favorite holiday treats as well. So let's get started. Now, I'm not trying to spend too much money on Christmas, so the pre-decorated tree is from Walmart, and everything else is from the dollar store or recycled from a previous holiday. Basically, the goal is to see if I can make something that looks nice without spending too much. I picked up these command hooks from the store. They're great for renters like me because I don't have to drill a bunch of holes in the wall for something I'm going to be taking down in a few weeks. So I'm going to create kind of a hanging garland effect on my wall, and I want to double them up with ribbon so that they appear more full. Now, these things come packaged very tightly together, so I want to go in and pull out each branch individually, and that's going to help it look more organic and a bit more like the real thing. I was a little bit worried about going too artificial with all of my decorations, but I gotta say it's just so much easier this way because the wireframing of the garland is allowing me to attach everything with relative ease. And as a final flourish for this piece, I'm just going to take a bit of this plaid ribbon and make a couple little bows. I didn't even realize they actually perfectly match this Thanksgiving tablecloth, and it's really just a great opportunity to reuse something from another holiday for Christmas. I have no qualms about it. Now, as I said, the tree already came with ornaments and lights. Big help. I just threw on some candy canes and topped it off with this sparkly silver bow. And with a few more additions around the apartment, I think it's looking good. Alrighty, so all the decorations are up. I'm feeling appropriately festive now and ready to tackle this Yorkshire pudding. I want to say that they are relatively easy to make. There's a couple of things that can go wrong though. I'll get to those in a second, but first let's just quickly go over the different ingredients that I'll be using today. The ingredients I'll be using are 8 eggs, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 3/4 cups of milk, and a little salt and pepper for taste. The last ingredient here is vegetable oil. However, you don't need to use oil, you can also use some sort of animal fat. Here I have some beef fat that I actually rendered out the night before and left to congeal in the refrigerator overnight. Equipment wise, I'm just going to be using a decent sized bowl with a whisk and a standard muffin tin. I'm going to begin by cracking all my eggs into this bowl and whisking them together. Ultimately, I want to whisk everything enough till it's much lighter in color and fluffy, and I did resort to an electric mixer because my bowl was on the shallow side. Didn't want to make a huge mess. Next, I'm going to add in the flour and get to mixing. It's going to be really lumpy and thick at this point. That's okay. This is where we're going to come in with the milk and help smooth along the process. But it's important to note that I have to add the milk in increments, not all at once, mixing well between each addition. Otherwise, I could end up with something that looks like this. So I really want to make sure that the batter is nicely mixed and smooth, coating the back of a spoon just like this. Next, I want to add in about a teaspoon or 2 of beef fat or oil into the muffin tin. I didn't have enough fat for the whole tin, so I'm going to be doing half fat and half oil. I'm then going to insert this into the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. And as you can see, I lined the bottom with the aluminum foil just to be safe. So for this next part, I want to be fast but also very careful as my oil is extremely hot.
but it does need to be hot, and you should see a bubbling effect when you pour the batter in, kind of like this. So I want to quickly get this in there, fill everything up to about 3/4 of the way, before getting them back into the oven for a half hour. Now do not be tempted to open the oven door early like I did. They like to puff up a lot so they look done, but remember, if they're too yellow, you'll be a sorry fellow. So let's pretend that did not happen, and voila, here is my first attempt, Yorkshire puddings. These ones are nice and golden, and they are gonna hold their shape, they will not collapse. These should be fine, but additionally I can take a knife and poke a few holes just to let the steam out if I want to be on the safe side. So I've made Yorkshires a few times over the years, but I gotta say these are the most beautiful ones by far. They've got a nice rich color and they smell absolutely divine. To me, a good Yorkshire should be a little bit crunchy and flaky on the outside, but then have this soft, eggy interior. So delicious, even by itself, right out of the oven. They also make for a really fabulous dinner presentation piece. Just go along and take your favorite meat. Here I'm using roast beef sour cream, and I'm gonna garnish it with a little bit of chives. Doesn't that look nice? Let me just pour myself a little coffee, and the holidays are now in full effect.
Thank you so much for joining me today on another episode of Andrew's Art Duchy. Putting up all these decorations, making my favorite treat, Yorkshire puddings. I'm feeling the holiday spirit, and I gotta say Christmas is traditionally not one of my favorite holidays, but it might be this year, so anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. If you want to support the channel, check out my Patreon. I currently have a video on how to make a Christmas-themed Victoria sponge cake, and there's a link in the description below. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.